Hello, Paul Wheaton, and everybody else. Welcome to Permaculture Smackdown, day after Christmas. How was your Christmas?
My Christmas was lovely. It's so good being an empty nester. It's just so easy. It's just such a nice, lovely coast. And of course, Jocelyn spoils me ridiculously. And so it's like, what a nice, lovely, easy day.
What was food like for you to this year?
Oh, well, of course, it's crazy because I've got the gallstones and the gout and everything, but Jocelyn is working hard to make all kinds of. Oh, I've got meringue cookies. That's what I've got. I've got lots of meringue cookies. I'm allowed meringue cookies. Oh, and she makes them with maple syrup. So then when you eat them, then all the maple syrup is kind of candied, but it's kind of like this chewy candy that sticks to your teeth. Maybe it doesn't sound very good, but it's amazing. and so how was your Christmas?
Not very good this year, but that's my own fault. Like I knew that was going to be the case because I left Montana, and that's where most of my friends and family are that I would spend Christmas with. So I didn't spend Christmas with anybody all alone this Christmas, but that's okay.
Where's Tuesday? Is it Tuesday there?
No, she went to see her family in Las Vegas.
Oh.
She's like, I'm not going to spend Christmas alone with you. Okay.
Yeah, okay. All right. So all alone, man, that is depressing. So did you watch some good movies or something?
Let's see. What did I do? No, I worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I worked a little bit. I only worked a few hours. And on most Christmases, I tend to work 12 hours. But yesterday, I just kind of was like, nah. So I worked very little yesterday.
Good.
Just enough to put some fires out. I had somebody apparently try to buy something yesterday on Christmas Day with a stolen credit card, and so I got to play that game.
How does that? So what do you go through with that?
They made a purchase, and then like an hour and a half later, PayPal emailed me to say that we just got word from the credit card company that's like a stolen card, but we got to do more research. So I went and revoked access to the product that they bought. It was a digital product, and I'm waiting to hear back from PayPal. I don't know. Maybe it'll get sorted out in a few days. So
yeah, well, yeah, I wonder how that works, because I imagine the bank is like, all right, so you lose your credit card and you call the bank and you tell the person on the phone, hey, lost my card, or they see purchases and they're like, I didn't fucking purchase this.
Yeah.
It was, this, my card number got stolen or whatever.
Right.
And so, but I wonder if there's like a certain timeline where they're like, okay, everything after this is just stolen. And so you got tied in with that, and the person actually wasn't a thief, but that's my optimistic view. Probably not the case.
So I've got a credit card that's really, really good. And it's not a credit card; it's a debit card. I got rid of all my credit cards. I don't have any credit cards. But I get an email every time there's any transaction on my card.
Mm-hmm.
Instantly. I mean, like if I go and I fill up with gas, I'm at the pump, and there's already an email about the transaction. And I mean, it's very, very fast. And so I've had times where I've got like, what the fuck is that? And so I call up the company and they shut the card down. They reverse that charge and I try to do something where it's like, I think it's the one-time thing. And they're like, we don't care. You've said that charge is an invalid charge. And so our policy is that we close the card instantly. We send you a new card right away. So you're going to have 3 days without a card. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And it's like, then of course you've got 2 or 3 things set up on auto, whatever. And it's like, oh, damn it. Now I got to go play that little game. But maybe it was something like that. The charge went through and whoever it was said, that's not me. That's a stolen card thing.
Right.
But the gal that runs Pantry, Paratus, she was once telling me that she was set up through PayPal, and then like bad guys bought $8,000 worth of stuff. And then they were all these different cards to all these different addresses. And then PayPal said, yoink. And so they told her that she had to eat it, $8,000. She'd already sent the stuff out.
Wow.
And so basically, after a long conversation with her and a long conversation with PayPal, because I get a lot of stuff through PayPal, the big difference between the way she ran her stuff and the way I run my stuff, and I think this is what it is, and PayPal says this is what it is, but, you know, it's like, no, I don't want to find out that. Anyway, she takes the credit card number, and then she runs the credit card number through PayPal. I never see a credit card number. Yeah, I just get an email from PayPal saying this person, you know, put $40 in your account. And or the automated stuff that's all set up through the digital market. You know, somebody bought the 4 DVD set for $38 and they got it. I didn't have to do anything. It's all automated. And so I never see a credit card number. And so I think that because she's got a system where she can see the credit card number, she takes on a bunch of risk.
Right.
But I never see a credit card number, so I don't get any risk. Or at least not that kind of risk.
Right.
I think. I'm not sure. I think.
Yeah, I haven't been scammed yet or anything.
So, I've got a list of a few bits and bobs.
Yeah.
To talk about today.
Let's do it.
Okay. All right. So one thing is that, you know, we've had some snowfall. We've been going. Jocelyn likes to go out and shovel the walk. Although I've put it into this. We don't have any boots here at the house right now. But I prefer that they shovel the walk, and stoke the fire and stuff. And they were kind of like they would bring in firewood, but they didn't seem to want to like heat the house. But that's our sort of there. Snow. Dealing with snow. Jocelyn takes care of the porch, and then I fire up the tractor, and I'm just glad we have a tractor, and I clear everything else. I clear the driveway and stuff, which when you're living in the country, you got to have a way, and if you're in snow country, you got to have a way of dealing with the snow somehow or another. So, tractor. We've also got an EV that's not working. In fact, that would be wonderful to have somebody come by someday who's like, can fix all of our EVs. All three of them are currently offline one way or another.
Oh no.
Yeah, there's a conversation for another day.
Right.
But okay, so got the tractor. Got to have to plug in the block, the heating block. I don't know if you've ever done that before, but for at least an hour before you start it up, got to do that. And it takes me like 45 minutes to blade all the driveways and parking area that we use and stuff like that.
And is your tractor diesel?
Yeah. It's somewhere around 50 horsepower.
Yeah, you got to use a heater block.
Yeah, because all that diesel just turns to gum or something like that. Yeah. Yeah. Another little silly little thing is that I got some new winter boots that I really like. I've got giant feet, size 15 or 16, and getting boots is really, really hard. And
good quality ones.
And so I have some winter boots that my granddad bought for me when I was a kid that still fit me. I just can't put on thick winter socks with it anymore. And so those are very old rubber boots that are still working great. But they are pretty much shot. And I've burned through some other winter boots. And so I finally went out a couple years ago and I bought really nice winter boots. But they're like the kind where you lace them up to your knee almost. And it's like they're a pain in the ass. They take forever to put on and take off. And they are really uncomfortable. I just don't like them. And but they do fit, which is the rare thing. I can't just buy anything. It's like one pair of boots out of 100 will provide a size for me. So I found some boots on Amazon that had really great ratings, and they had my size, and they were like $35, and they're insulated winter boots. I bought them, and they are great.
Wow.
I can put them on without laces, without anything, just slip into them.
$35 too. That's expensive. That's impressive.
So and of course, the big test of time is will they last, 5-10 years?
Yeah.
Which usually I've had those kinds, boots in that space fall apart after just, 2 months. So we'll see how it does. But it's got like really high ratings on Amazon. So.
Are they like muck boots, like the rubberized, just big rubber boots?
They're not just big rubber boots. They're more like there used to be a word that I knew when I was a kid for this style of boot. Duck boots. I want to say duck boots. I don't know why I want to say that, but they're not like solid rubber boots. They got a zipper up the front, which I just leave unzipped. I imagine that if I'm going to go walking a long distance, maybe I'll zip them up. But I also think that these boots are not designed for like, working outside for 7 hours or anything like that. These boots are kind of designed for like an hour outside. Yeah. And I haven't tried them yet with thicker socks. But today my toes did get a little cold. But still way better. Great. All right. So there's boots. I've got boots that fit my giant damn feet. and it's just like, I'm surprised how much I like them. It turns out to be a nice thing. Normally I would never buy boots when I already have boots, but it's like I was kind of avoiding going outside because it's like, man, all my boots suck. And I'm just not going to, it's like, if I'm going to go outside, it's going to be an ordeal lacing those mothers up.
Yeah.
Another thing is that Jocelyn made, normally we go out and get a Christmas tree on December the 10th. And we got lots of trees that make great Christmas trees, especially if you're not worried about the Charlie Brown style.
Definitely in the right country.
Yeah. And but then we saw a thing about making a Christmas tree out of a pile of books, and so we found a bunch of books that had green on the spine, and and it was awesome. Oh man! I mean, the house doesn't smell like Christmas tree, which is unfortunate.
Right.
But we're using stuff we already got, and like you get a Christmas tree, we got to go find the damn stand, and you got to water that Christmas tree every day. Yeah. And so it's like, well, less hassle, so much easier. Still wood, kinda.
Did you take pictures of it?
I think Jocelyn's posted pictures. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'd like to see it. I'll look it up.
All right. Let's see. I don't know what. Of course, you're by yourself, so you probably didn't get anything for Christmas. Did you get something like mailed to you?
No. I just established an address, so like I didn't have time to let everybody know where to mail stuff. It is very possible I have things in Montana.
Okay.
Sitting at the house. Yeah.
Okay. My big one was socks. For all the same reasons, socks generally don't fit me, and I've got this mishmash of crazy, weird socks. And then if I got a pair that I like, I wear them out fast. And so then I've got this drawer full of socks. I just hate them all. They're all awful for one reason or another. And what I've tried to do in the past is, like, if I find a pair of socks that I like, I go back to the store and I buy all of them. And which is usually 2 more pairs, because for the crazy size, they don't exactly stock a lot. And for the last 5 years, I've had a hell of a time finding socks I like. So I did find some socks I did like, but they're like pretty much they're organic cotton, and they're natural color. They're uncolored, and I just kind of felt like they were too light, and so I've been like, the thing I don't want is another pair of socks I don't like just because they're not a good color. So what Jocelyn did is she got actual indigo. I don't even know what the hell that is. I mean, it's a plant. I know it's a plant. Indigo is a plant. but I don't know if she got like the berries or the leaves or whatever. But anyway, she made blue. She got those light colored socks, and then she got indigo, so they're organic cotton. And then so now I've got this box of socks that feel good. They're the right size. Everything is great, and they're dark blue. I got to just apply them. So there you go.
Why is dark blue? So is that a deal? Is that you need it to be dark blue or don't like dark blue?
Well, like, of course, if you wear tennis shoes, you wear white socks, right?
Yeah.
And then, so at some point in time, like, it was like, I know when it was 2004, I was working this gig for Digital Globe. You know, they do the satellite photography for Google Earth, right? Yeah. And so I was working this gig in 2004, and there's this guy, and he's wearing these fucking ugly shoes. And I said, dude, those are fucking ugly shoes. And he says, I know, but they are crazy ass comfortable. I just can't stop wearing them. and he's like, and I kind of don't give a fuck what you or anybody else thinks. And they're just so fucking comfortable. And so I thought, fucking hey, dude, that's the way to play it. What's comfortable? And if anybody doesn't like the look of them, fuck them. And I thought that is smart. So I bought a pair, and they were fucking comfortable. I just really like these shoes. And they're a leather, kind of a dress cloggy looking thing. Yeah. You know? And so you wear dark socks with them is what you do. But you know, it does. That pair lasted me 10 years. And when I went to go order another pair, and I wore them all the fucking time, and for 10 years. And so they fell apart. In fact, I think you could see me wearing those shoes in my TED Talk.
Oh, yeah.
And they were falling apart. Like they were literally disintegrating on the stage while I'm doing my TED Talk. And it's like the bottom started to peel off. And as I was walking, it tried to fold under my foot. It's like, oh, these are past gone. So then I tried to order new ones, and they didn't make them anymore. And then, like, I don't know, 2 years later or something, they started making them again. So I snagged a pair. And all right, so you got to have. So you're saying, like, does the color really make a difference? And it's like, yeah, because if you wear a dark color, it's kind of like maybe you won't notice that they're fucking ugly shoes.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
If you got holes in your shoes or something, yeah.
And then that way, I don't have to say to somebody, I don't give a fuck what you think.
What I'll do, people like think is weird, is I'll wear socks with sandals.
Well, you wear white socks with sandals.
I don't even own white socks. I don't
see that. Okay, yeah. See, and the white socks with sandals, that draws attention to the fact that you're wearing socks with sandals. Yeah. But then if you wear a dark colored sock, people might not even notice. And, if you wear a dark colored sock and you kind of look at the ceiling wherever you go, what's that up there? What's over there? What's that? What's that?
Everybody look up. Yeah, but I have the same, very, very much the same mentality about a lot of things. Is that if you don't like it, I could give a shit less.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But of course, people don't like to hear. I don't give a fuck what you think. For some reason, they're weird about that. They're just.
But you have to care because, yeah, people are stupid.
Yeah.
So
that's what I got for Christmas. There you go. That's my big Christmas gift. That's my big thing.
Now, so a big thing that people are doing this time of year, or hopefully before the snow came, is cutting wood. And you got a new toy, yes?
Actually, I've had this for like 2 years now, maybe a year and a half, something like that. And I've got a whole bunch of different contraptions because we have 12 fully operational rocket mass heaters plus a bunch of other rocket contraptions. And so we've got a lot of wood. And so it's kind of like at every place where we store wood, we need a place to be able to chop it and whatnot. And so we got tons of axes and mauls and splitting wedges. And we've also got a bunch of other odd contraptions for splitting wood. because, you know, people that aren't used to using a maul can really hurt themselves. And so,
Yeah, you don't want that landing on your foot or on your shin. That seems to be the most common.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people have never, they just don't know what they're doing. So, so there's a contraption that I heard about that people thought was really good, and so I got one, and now I love it, and I've got it set up as my primary way of chopping wood when I'm chopping wood, and it's been dreamy, and so it's like the wedge part or the maul part is mounted to the stump, and then you take your piece of wood and you put it on the cut part, which is mounted to the stump, and then you whack at it with a sledge, a small sledge for your hand, and then you go knock, and then it splits the wood.
Okay.
Like it's been just
way safer,
way faster, and it's got like a ring around it, so that way when the wood's cut, it doesn't pop onto the ground; it kind of stays right there. So once it's split, you just pick it up and put it wherever you're going to put it. It's a simple thing.
Is it pretty tall? Like, what were you, like 12 inches or something? The blade?
Well, let me see if I can. I mean, we've got a thread at Permies, and I moved it to the first post. The thread's kind of old, but I moved it to the first post. Splitting firewood, and I'll do an image. No, I think this is it. And then I'm going to take this link and I'll put it into our chat.
Well, you can share a screen.
There it is. Oh, okay. All right.
Just hit the green share screen button, unless that's a big pain in the ass for you. I know you get a lot of tabs and stuff.
I'm not sure how much it's going to show up, but I'm going to try it. Doodly-doo, doodly-doo, doodly-doo. Share screen. Okay, do you see it?
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So it just mounts onto your chopping block, and what you see is what you get, and it just goes super fast. But normally, like what you see there is the pieces are ending up on the ground. But my experience is that the pieces stay up. They get caught on the top of the block, and then I just grab them with my free hand and throw them onto the pile.
Now, it doesn't address the issue with logs, though, right? Because often, at least when I get firewood, I'm getting logs, and then I got to split it into smaller pieces.
Oh, yeah. This will only deal with your smaller pieces. Right. But another thing is that I'm not sure if it's in here or not. No, it's not. It's not in here.
You've seen the bungee technique, yeah? There you go. Yep.
Yeah.
So that's what I do. I like doing that. But
here's my favorite video of the bungee technique. I wonder who did this. Oh wait, it was me. So that's a video I took. It's that's got Emily and Tony chopping wood. This is just right next to the garage at my house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? It's therapeutic to me. Okay, if I need a lot of bungee and I'm in a hurry or a lot of wood, I'll do the bungee cord method. But if I just want, it's like I gotta just go release some stress or just I want some therapy, I'll just go out the chopping block, my axe, and just start going at it one at a time, nice and slow. That's what I like doing.
The one thing is that for the jamboree, we were in a big scramble to get everything ready, and so we needed to get some wood in, and so what I ended up doing was I bought firewood, and I just bought rounds because I thought, oh, we'll have lots of people here, we'll all try all the different little tools and stuff like that. But the thing is that when you buy firewood from these guys. Then if you buy rounds, then what they do is they go and they cut up a bunch of trees, and then they start hacking this stuff up into split wood, because that's most of the wood split. and then they're going to have some wood that just does not split worth a fuck. It's just
too green or whatever.
Well, no, too green isn't the issue. It's going to be full of knots, just riddled with knots, which makes it a really great chunk of wood for a chopping block.
Right.
But not for busting up into firewood.
Right.
So when you buy rounds, then they're giving you the rounds that didn't split easy, which is another reason why you want to go get your own wood rather than
That's
buying.
what I do. Yeah, I just go and get my own wood. So I don't know. I never bought firewood.
Well, we were running out of time, and the other funny thing is it's like, okay, let me ask you this: when you go out, you're doing it all by yourself, just you.
It's usually friends, like we all get together and
Okay, all right. Then let's do it that way. You and one other person go out to get wood.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So if you put in 8 hours, how many cords of wood end up stacked at your house?
None. Takes 8 hours to go get the trees.
Okay.
So nothing's stacked. So, all right, let's say, all right, if I do 8 hours, I can get, in 8 hours, I can get 4 cords. 4, 6, something like that.
All right, you'll have 4 to 6 cords with you and one other person, 4 to 6 cords stacked at your house.
Not stacked, in logs at my house. And then
Oh, okay. So let's go with they're not necessarily split; they're rounds.
Mm-hmm.
And how many cords will be stacked at your house after 8 hours? And that's the mission. Like you want to try. So I'm going to go with I'm thinking 2 to 3 cords, 2 people, and you head out at second zero, at moment zero. Then you're driving away in a pickup, maybe a pickup with a trailer, or maybe 2 different guys, 2 pickups.
Yep.
And so then you go out, and then you're going to drop some trees. Let's say the drive is half an hour away.
Yeah.
And so you're drive half an hour away. You drop some trees. You bucket up, and you throw it in the pickup. And then there might be a couple trips, but anyway, on average, 2 guys, 8 hours. I mean, if you limit it to 8 hours, then usually you do this in the fall or maybe late summer, but fall seems to be the time that people do that. And then I'm thinking that, you come back and you stack it up in the woodshed, and then you hit the 8-hour mark. How many cords did you get done? I always kind of thought 2 to 3 cords. That's right.
I can get more, but I mean, when we do it big. So I don't know.
Yeah. It'll be like 5 or 6 guys all getting it at once, and somebody's got some Mondo trailer, and
we're drinking beers. I mean,
always a good idea to drink plenty of beer when operating a chainsaw.
Yeah,
and swinging axes around with a bunch of dumb fucks. Yeah, that's the smart thing. But anyway,
it's definitely not smart, but it makes it much more enjoyable.
But I always so then we had 3 or 4 people here working for 2 days on just going up the hill here at base camp and getting dead standing and bringing it down, bucking it up, and stacking it. And after 2 days, they had half a cord.
Oh,
I know. That's exactly what I was thinking. And it's like, they're learning how to use a chainsaw. They're learning how to use a maul. They're learning lots of stuff. But it's like,
are they doing this on the at Arrakis or not Arrakis at the which part of the property?
Okay, they're getting the trees off of base camp. Like they're going to go up Volcano Road.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I mean, there's some time right there.
So these are good people. They just don't have the experience. And so the point I'm getting at is that suddenly, because I'm feeding all these folks, right? And the other thing is like, if you were on a piece of property and you had stuff to do, I imagine you didn't have this online empire to do, you would work a good 60 hours or more a week on your property to get all your shit done, get in your wood and build a fire and build a rocket mass heater, and you got to build a new shed, and the list of stuff to do is never ending. But you'd probably put in a good 60 hours a week or more. And then the boots, and you could ask Tuesday about this. We get to 39.9 hours, and they're done.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it's like, and they're exhausted. They've put in a full week, and they're ready to be done. And at the same time, they're not being pushed to the standard that I know I was pushed at when I was a kid. And then when I was on Mount Spokane, then I was working a good 15 hours a day outside. And so anyway, it's a different thing. And it's like, part of it is like, you can't just go out into the woods and like watch the clouds pass, or like contemplate this stick, or, it's kind of like you gotta get going. You gotta get the wood up because you got a bunch of other stuff to do, as opposed to in the boot camp. There's a little bit of this whole thing of like, I'm here to get the experience, and I'm still going to be warm, and I'm going to be fed, and I'm going to have all the things, whether this wood gets in or not. And so there's not that urgency.
You're not going to get fired, right? Like, so you're not going to get fired, or it's not their place. They're not going to get fired. Well, they could, but I mean, they're getting that'd be pretty drastic. So the incentives aren't there as much as they would be for like us.
Right. And so then the bottom line is that when I start to contemplate how much is it, because you're saying like, I've never bought firewood before. But when I'm contemplating like, okay, how much do I pay per cord of wood just in feeding people? If it's going to be, like 3 to 4 people, 2 days, half a cord of wood.
Yeah, well, in that case, that's just super inefficient. Not going to be worth it. It'd be much more valuable.
I've got a lot of permaculture projects I need them to work on instead of getting that wood in. So I bought the wood.
Do you think that if it's taking them 2 days to get a half cord of wood, do you think that means that they're also much slower at the other projects that you're sending them out on?
I think so. I mean, and it's not like there's anything nefarious or bad going on. They're learning stuff,
which is part of the whole deal. Like, that's why it's such a great opportunity.
So they're learning tons and tons of stuff, and that's just the pace it's going to be while you're learning. And on top of that, almost everybody comes from a background of like living in the city. And you're kind of used to having a job where you're paid for your attendance, not much more. And so then on top of that, you come, and it's like, it's physical labor. It's hard. And so then after, an 8-hour day, it's kind of like, and this is where it kind of is called the boot camp. They're exhausted. But if you get somebody in there that has done this before and has did it since they were a kid or whatever, they're going to go, I'm guessing 5 to 10 times faster. But it's not their fault. I am glad, and I kind of feel like what I want is people to come to the boot camp program. They build these experiences. I'd much rather have them do it slowly and safely than try to go at a faster clip and then
hurt themselves or hurt someone else.
Sure, and so. I don't want anybody watching this that's thinking of coming and being part of the boot camp program thinking I'm going to go so fast and be so impressive. And it's like, please don't hurt yourself. Please don't hurt others. Please don't break my tools.
That also brings up a good point
I'm okay with you going slower.
Right. Well, it also brings up a good point of with other boots. So if you're a boot and there are other boots there, you might have to deal with people that go slower than you are used to. And it might be very frustrating.
There's going to be some of that. There's going to be some of that. Yeah.
And then there's also the opposite. You could be going to the boot camp and you got this guy that's just fucking going at it. And you're like, You're crazy.
We've had some people out here that are really hard workers, and we've had some people out here that it's like all of these jobs they consider to be highly aerobic, and it's like 40 hours a week isn't enough. They want to keep going, and it's like, so we set up tasks on the side. Like I remember there's a ditch that needed to be dug, and this one guy, he's going out there after hours and he's working on this ditch.
Well, I remember the guys that were working for us. They started calling the PermaEthos Weight Watcher program or something like that. Because they would, well, first of all, really hard workers. These were guys that were living there for a very long time, very hard workers, and they were working 60 hours a week at least.
Yeah.
I mean, and they were busting ass. And one dude, he came in not in the greatest shape and left in great shape. Lost a lot of weight. His wife was very happy.
That's something I've got a bunch of other little things to talk about here, but one of the things that I think is good to talk about is when you come out here to be part of the boot camp or Deep Roots or Ant Village or whatever it is, there's been some weird stuff about the whole space of people saying something like they're not sure if they're going to stay the long haul, and so like Ant Village is a pretty popular place for this, and it's kind of like so they come out and then they start to think like, okay, I don't think I'm going to stay here for 20 years, so why should I go to all this trouble to build something?
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of think that a good reason to build it is that you can sell your improvements.
Yeah.
But selling your improvements, the big thing is like if you come out and you got to get started on a project, you got to build a house, build your hugelkultur gardens, and build your fence to keep the deer off your gardens. I mean that is an enormous task to trying to get done in one season. And so it's kind of like, how about this? Come out and do half of it, and when the snow flies, sell your improvements. And then this other person is going to have a head start. They're going to have, something that's half done, and now they've got a better chance of getting it done that first year and learning all those lessons and stuff like that. So eventually we will build a community here that meets these standards. And so maybe it's not just for you giving a gift to your future self. And frankly, I think that I got to say that if somebody's already done this, like if Dick Prenicky comes out here and does this, I think he can have a small shelter and hugelkultur gardens built and a fence in a month.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, but if it takes you more than a month, it's because you're learning stuff. You're learning a lot about yourself. You're learning a lot about roundwood timber framing. You're learning a lot about how little dirt a shovel actually moves, and how after 100 shovelfuls you didn't get very far, and how very tired you are.
How your back feels.
and therefore, the idea of an excavator, you arrived saying, "I will never use an excavator," and then by lunchtime on the first day, you're like, "I am all about using an excavator."
Oh man, I love an excavator. That's got to be my favorite machine.
They're fun to drive.
They're fun to drive. They're so you can get really accurate with them. If you do it a lot, you can get really accurate, and I almost think like, man, I should have done that as a living. Like at some point, I thought that like I wish I would have got that in my like teens and like just got into it and was a master excavator operator because I love them, man. But
did you drive hours when you're out here?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
It needed some work. it was just it was just loose. I mean, it worked just fine. It was just a little loose, But that's how it is sometimes. But anyway, I mean, but the problem is they're a lot of work. Like if you're doing that as a living, I don't know. Imagine you've been in this situation a lot of times. You order an excavator, right? They bring it on the truck, or you go pick it up. But usually they bring it on a truck, and the operator's driving it. Well, to get everything loaded, you're lugging around heavy ass chains all the time. You're banging on stuff a lot. It could really wear you down. Like I've seen operators that are just really worn down early on. So, I mean, I'm glad I didn't for that reason, but I freaking love it.
Okay, so we own an excavator, but we've also rented excavators multiple times while I've been here. And when you rent them, then the rental company will typically make sure you keep it going. I mean, that would be a Permaculture Smackdown episode to talk about renting big equipment. We just rent from Cat. Cat charges a slightly higher price, but every conversation you have with them is perfectly rational and makes sense. Almost any other outfit you rent from, it's a little bit like it arrives with like a dent on it or something, and then they're like trying to get me to pay for the dent when they pick it up. Like, oh, you fucking destroyed it! That's an $8,000 dent. And it's like, so in the end, it's like you feel like you're just shy of going to court with these people. And what I did was I started taking pictures every time any kind of equipment arrived, and
do a whole 360.
And then I'm having to show them the pictures when they're picking it up. Oh no, I've got video proof. Look, I took a whole video going around it. It was there when it arrived. Look, here's the video. It isn't even off the trailer yet. And it's like so. Anyway, you end up paying. It ends up being about the same cost either way. Only with the other guys, then they wanted actually double, and you had to like provide proof to get it down to be the same price as Cat. But originally, you were going to save 20%, and so it's no, just get it from Cat. Cat doesn't try to pull that trick, and they're just like, oh yeah, we expect them to be dirty. We always pick them up dirty.
Well, and people are using those equipment, and a lot of people do abuse them. Like I can understand if I was running a rental company, how it could get really freaking expensive if people are renting these extremely expensive machines and just destroying them. But because when you rent, people don't give a shit about the equipment as much as when you're not renting, right? Like when you rent a car versus owning a car, you're going to care about your car a lot more.
Absolutely. I mean, it's
But with Cat, it's a major company, and they're like, they're not ours, so we don't give a shit. Right? Because, it's Cat's. It's not the people at the Cat place.
Well, the great thing is, if anything goes wrong, the guy has to fix it, and that's part of the deal. So, all right. Moving on to my list. One of the things I got on my list is I need a new assistant. And so if anybody's watching this and they want a job in the permaculture world with shitty pay, which, by the way, can get spun up into like real professional wages, like New York City wages.
What is entailed? Where do I find the job description?
Well, I think we might still have a job description in the tinkering forum. So earlier today, I just came to the conclusion, like, okay, I've got so much and my current assistant is great, but she's not getting to everything. And so I'm not sure if I'm hiring a second assistant or if she's like, and I don't want to, she's got some stuff that she's dealing with outside of permits. And it's like stuff's now built up for several months. But like checking the email river, I just found out this morning that nobody has checked the email river since August.
Holy shit!
Yeah. And so it's like, oh wow. So
there's the first couple of days of your job, at least.
So and then there's a list of stuff because like Cassie, I think Cassie worked with me for 18 months, and when she started off, I think that was the first time she'd heard the word permaculture was working with me. And then when she left, she went on to become editor of Permaculture Magazine North America.
Yeah.
So, but hey, you were my assistant for like, I don't know, a month and a half or something, weren't you?
No.
No? You helped me with my website. You helped set up all my podcast shit.
Yeah. And is that being an assistant? I was just like, hey, cool, I'll help out Paul.
I loaded you up with all kinds of dirty jobs. All right. So anyway, the thing is that I needed an assistant, and it's kind of like I think part of it is building relationships with other websites and trying to sell my stuff, trying to find stuff that's a match for our audience that we could try and sell it to them, and we get a good affiliate fee or sell Hermes.
So it's not only assistant stuff. It's like, well, it's I guess assistant, but it's also you gotta have some sales, or you want some sales experience. You're hoping that they have sales experience, or
I don't even know if I would call it sales experience, but I suppose that that would be kind of part of. But I kind of feel like
marketing experience.
I want to build relationships with some of the other permaculture websites, and it's like, let's make sure that we've got a thread at Permies about their site or about their product or whatever, and and then maybe they'll do something similar for us. And so there's a bunch of that, developing relationships with other websites. But there's also stuff where it's like we got to focus on cash flow. And so there's some stuff where it involves cash flow. And then, of course, we're going to be making new projects. And so when I do a new Kickstarter, I really need to have an assistant who's going to help me. Okay, what are we doing today with our Kickstarter? And then, of course, there's like a good 2 to 4 weeks of prep work before you even launch the Kickstarter. And so it's like, there's all kinds of little dirty jobs that have to be done. And so, and there, like at Permies right now, I have 20, 30 people that volunteer on the staff at Permies that are active.
Mm-hmm.
And but they like doing the things that are the fun jobs.
Yeah.
But there's still a bunch of dirty jobs that have to be done. And it's like I can't do it all. And I've been trying to keep up with a lot of it. While my current assistant has been like not doing it so much. And it's like, I've really got to pass this on, especially, we're trying to get more videos and more podcasts out and more articles.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Well, I mean, not that same. I mean, I have 6 people, not 20 something, that are on the staff, volunteer staff for PermaEthos. And same thing, and it's also like they're volunteering. So it's, I don't want to, you're not going to like, hey, I need this done, get it done. So
a volunteer is going to put in like maybe an hour or 2 a day.
Yeah.
When it's convenient.
Right.
It's fun.
But so I found Tuesday at your place and took her with me, and she,
damn it, Beavis.
she was a phenomenal, secretary, or assistant. She was really good. I'll ask her if she's interested, but she's not working for me anymore. She's doing a RN program.
So, right. You talked about that.
Right. So, I'll see if she's interested, but it might only be part-time.
I need somebody full-time.
Oh, okay.
That's where I'm suffering, is like, I need to be able to, because it's like I process all these emails, and what I need to do is forward little tasks off to my assistant, so people will contact me and they'll say, hey, I got a Kickstarter, will you help me promote it? And it's like, okay, I'm going to turn you over to my assistant. They're going to help you to understand how to make a good media-rich thread for your Kickstarter, and we'll get you all set up. And stuff like that. And it's always something different every day. But all right. So there's that. A mountain of new DVDs arrived, so we ran out of Wood Burning Stoves 2.0. You were digging.
Is this like the 4-pack?
Yeah, you were helping me dig these out.
It's not the individual.
But you found one more box of the new 4 DVD set. And then we found out that we were like out of the old 4 DVD set. So then we're like combing everywhere, all the same places you were crawling around, and every other place we could think of. And it's like we had like 6 copies left, and so I had to put it in order. So now we've got 1,000 copies, because that's, you got to buy them by the 1,000. That's the way that they do it.
Yeah. So now you got a bunch of boxes back up there. I'm gonna have to crawl around for it at some point.
So here's one right here. Can you see it? No, you can't. You kind of can.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. So I've got there's 10 boxes each actually 20 boxes like this. Each of these has 50 of the, and so I'm going to be putting them up there, and then later you can find it.
Yeah. Well, that's what it was, right?
So but we got to store them. I've got a place to store them here. I've got a place to store them in the library, and then we just kind of spread them out here and there and everywhere. And then things are tight. So yeah, everybody buy physical copies of my DVDs so I can have more room in my house.
And speaking about not only the DVDs or just media in general, you have been putting out a lot of content recently, right?
I have put out a lot of YouTube videos and podcasts.
What's the latest?
We completed the Rocket Mass Heater Myth series. And then I just, like about a week ago, less than a week ago, I put out this 45-minute video about the Rocket Mass Heater and the teepee. And it was stuff that got cut out from the 4 DVD set.
Oh.
And so we ended up with like this 2.5-hour long video for the teepee to go into the DVD will only hold like 2 hours and 15 minutes. And we needed it to hold, half of it needs to be about the Wafati and half of it needs to be about the teepee.
Right.
And so it's like, okay, we need to get the teepee video down to 1 hour and 5 minutes, and it's like over 2.5 hours long. And so we had to cut, compress, and we finally got it down to like 1 hour and 6 minutes.
So this is like the bonus reel, the bonus footage.
So this is, and in fact, I kind of felt like this is where Eric and I are sitting on the teepee and we're doing an intro to what you're about to see. And then we're doing an outro to wrap up what you just saw. And it's 45 minutes long. And so we had to whittle that down to just, like I think 6 minutes intro and 6 minutes outro. But I thought at this point in time, this was a copy where it was like, oh, this has got a lot of good stuff in it. And I hate to cut this. And it's like, it was hard to figure out what to cut. So it was made easier with the idea of like, oh, let's just save this and we'll put it up on YouTube later. So it's up on YouTube.
Cool.
Later today or tomorrow, depending on how the whole day goes, I'll be putting up a video about, it's an excerpt from the new 4 DVD set about stratification chamber. So stratification chambers is the way that we're moving towards with light speed. It's a slam dunk in the rocket mass heater world. And so but basically a lot of people are struggling like, how does it work? What? And so this video snippet that appears in the 4 DVD set, I think does a really good job of explaining it. And so we're going to put it up on YouTube. It's a 7-minute clip. In fact, I learned how to animate while it's like when I was recovering from being on my back with the spinal cord problem I had.
Yeah.
I was able to get up for like 10 minutes at a time for a while. And so what I would do is I'd get up and play with this animation tool and then lie down for an hour and get up and then do 10 more minutes. So I made this animation,
while crippled.
Well, fucked up. Yeah. So a lot of, the content's been thanks to the Patreon people, really. And I've got some articles that are about to go out in the next week or so, but it's like I'm just, scrambling with a bunch of different stuff. So, lots of content. And I might have a Kickstarter coming out in January sometime. But I'm probably going to wait until yours is done.
Okay.
All right. When is yours going to start?
Well, we want to start on the 5th. I think we got it scheduled for the 5th is the plan.
Okay. All right.
Closing.
Okay. And have you visited with Cliff recently?
Not. It's been a week now.
Okay. All right. Because after the Smackdown last week, then Cliff contacted me and he's like, I can't get a hold of Josiah. So all right, so that's been taken care of. Good. All right, he got a hold of you. Good.
Yep.
All right. We've got 4 new podcasts out. 4 podcast series about community stuff. And basically, when you're trying to deal with community stuff, the big thing you want is all the benefits that come with community, because there's a ton of benefits. But the downside is, and the showstopper is the drama. The drama gets to be too much.
Yeah.
And so then it's kind of like, okay, how do you mitigate the drama? How do you turn down the volume knob on the drama? And so we had some drama recently, and we did some Smackdowns to try and address some of the drama that came through recently. And in the end, I think that what the end result of that particular drama is that these are people just being human beings, and they just create drama for the sake of creating drama. When we explored every speck of every concern, I think we did an excellent job of laying out an absolute proof that most of it was fiction, just made up, and a lot of it was extreme exaggeration. And it's like, man, that's human beings for you. It's the whole thing about permaculture is about replacing petroleum with people. But man, petroleum does not cry. Petroleum does not write shitty stuff on the internet. All that stuff. And part of it is like, things have changed from, having an intentional community 15 years ago to doing it now. Yeah. And so what do you do when somebody, and I think I put a lot of emphasis in these podcasts about like, if somebody else has land and they want to try and do this, that they're not going to have to deal with the stuff that I'm dealing with. Because the reason why the stuff I'm dealing with is getting so much attention is because I'm better known than your average permaculture person. Mm-hmm. And I think there's also a few people who just love to hate on me because I kicked them off of my forums. So there's a bit of that too. But at the same time, I haven't had near the problems that Willie Smits has had, or that Sepp Holzer's had, or a lot of the biggie bigs in the
everyone I've talked to has had some problems or another. Who's really got it down is Joel Salatin, man. Have you visited his property?
I haven't visited his property.
I mean, it's not community necessarily, but he's got long-term workers there that live there.
Yeah.
I mean, so it is community in that way. And man, they got a tight program. I was really impressed.
Well, and a huge component of their program, let's not forget, the dude's written at least 2 books on how, on drama.
Yeah.
And so, but his program is such that it's like he picks, I think it's like 6 people to be his intern for the year or for the season. And then it's like, but there's 6 more waiting in the wings. And this is out of a pool of 400 people.
Right.
Who all applied and wanted to be the intern.
Yeah.
And so basically, any one person who's there, not only were they the best 6 out of 400, but any one person there, the message is clear. If you want to be turned into a drama queen or do anything icky, you could go. We got a lot of people waiting in line to take your spot. So if you're a little bit uncomfortable here, that's not a problem. You can just go right on down the road. We can replace you in about 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So I think that's a major piece right there. And then with the stuff that we were talking about earlier, I think that it's fair to say, like when we were talking about getting in cords of wood, and it's like there's the need to get it in because time's a wasting. You're doing it on the side of your job. I mean, if it's Sunday and you're getting in a bunch of firewood, it's not like you can come back and finish it tomorrow. You have to go back to your day job.
Right. And these guys aren't under any pressure.
Yeah, these guys, when their weekend rolls around, then they do, they're like usually in doing things that are purely pleasure. Whereas when you live in the country, it's like you got your 40-hour-a-week job, which, barely covers all your bills. And then the reason why you're going to go get your own wood instead of buying it is because you can't afford to buy it. And you can't afford to heat your house with electric. And so it's like you got to get that wood. And if you don't finish it today, then you got to try and finish it next weekend. And you've already got a fuck ton of other stuff you got to get done. You got to fix that truck. You've got to fix that tractor. You've got to, solve the whatever is going wrong with that toilet in the other room. And that washing machine makes a weird sound now, and you're the guy in charge of figuring out what the fuck to do about it.
Right.
Whereas, with the boot camp program, all those tasks go to the boots, and it's like during the 40 hours a week. And I kind of feel like, man, I'm not sure how to instill into them the whole thing about homesteading is typically like a good, like you're going to be working a good 60 to 80 hours a week if you have a 40-hour-a-week job. Right. This is all stuff you do on the side just to keep everything maintained, not even add new stuff.
Absolutely.
All right. So we've also got 2 new podcasts out about, so it actually ended up being like 3 hours that Jocelyn and I did on, which we divided into 2 podcasts, on heating the house this last winter with 0.60 cords of wood.
Yeah.
So, so the first one of those went out today.
So really, you don't need them getting very much wood.
Right. We don't, except for the fact that there's the house, the library, the classroom, the teepee, the Allerton Abbey, the Cooper cabin. And what people have been doing is that I'll get in a bunch of wood, like I'll pay for wood, and then somebody else will need some wood. And then like we had an aunt, this one aunt was like, can I borrow some of your wood, some of your firewood, and I'll replace it in the next week. I promise, I swear. And that aunt ended up taking like the better part of 2 cords of wood, of my wood that I paid for, and never replaced it. And so it's like, once it's all cut and split and ready to be used, it's really sweet looking and convenient to folk.
And it's also worth like a couple $100 a cord.
And then there's my structures, or me heating myself, and then there's the other structures that are part of my space, I guess. And then there's all those little structures that the ants built, and they need some wood for heat. And it's like, there's dead standing out there. Go get it.
Yeah. All right, Paul. That's all the time we got for today, man. Hope everybody enjoyed. Had a Merry Christmas, and we'll have a Happy New Year. Man, New Year's coming up. New Year's resolution time pretty soon, if you're into that.
You got to visit with our peeps here for a little bit after you, flush all those other people, right?
Yeah. So I'll read after the show, guys. If you're one of our supporters and you got the invitation, you get special access, and after the show, we stick around and talk, non-recorded, off the record about whatever you guys want. Hey, so I brought this book up to you. You weren't sure about it. You got to do some research, but it's something I've been reading a lot lately. It's called Prescription for Natural or Nutritional Healing. That's the book. You can find it in like health food stores. It's thick.
Wow. Oh.
And it's just got a lot of cool. So you basically like, all right, I got back pain. Like look up back pain. It's like, all right, this is the supplements, the suggested dosage, and some comments about how to play. And it's all natural like remedies. So it's a pretty cool book. I was pretty excited about it. I think it's really popular. So I think if you've been to a health food store, you've probably seen it. Or like oftentimes health food stores will have it out and they're just like, whatever ails you, look it up and you can buy it here kind of thing. But anyway.
Oh, because they want you to buy whatever they're selling.
Right. Because it tells you the new natural stuff to take to remedy the whatever. Anyway.
Send me an Amazon link and I'll try to get it in and I'll look at the stuff in there about gallstones and gout.
Yeah. All right. Goodbye, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Bye.